Welcome back to episode number 4 of my Road to DipWSET vlog. The purpose of these videos is to help encourage you to make a donation towards my campaign that I've recently created on BackaBuddy. The funds generated via this campaign will help me finance my next level of wine education, the Diploma in Wines through WSET. The diploma is an expert wine course which is going to give me the knowledge as well as the confidence in order to enroll to the Institute of Masters of Wine. I'll be evaluating 12 incredible wines over the next 12 weeks according to the WSET systematic approach to tasting. This will help me assess the wine's quality as well as its readiness for drinking. Every single wine tasted over the next few weeks will be included in a mixed case of 12 which you can get your hands on. All you need to do is make a small contribution towards my campaign. Once again, I'd like to extend a massive thank you to all of you that have already stepped forward to make a contribution to the cause, as well as a special mention to all the amazing producers that have been kind enough and generous enough to sponsor the wines for these videos. So without further ado, how's about to introduce wine number 4, the Zevenwacht Chardonnay 2019. Zevenwacht may look modern, but the farm boasts an incredible 300-year history. The owners of Zevenwacht, Harold and Denise Johnson, bought the farm in 1992 and are committed to not only producing world-class wines, but are also heavily committed to historic and cultural preservation as well as community upliftment. The wines produced by Zevenwacht are distinguished by their finely crafted elegance as well as classic style, which is then topped off with a dash of charismatic flair and a sprinkle of the winemaker's charm. Hagen Viljoen, the head winemaker at Zevenwacht, believes that quality begins in the vineyard. If you've ever been lucky enough to take a walk on the estate, you would have noticed how pristine those vineyards are. Knowing what to plant where and in which soil type has allowed Hagen to produce some of Zevenwacht's best wines to date. The name Zevenwacht is derived from Dutch, translating to 7 expectations. Now all of us as consumers and wine lovers, when we visit a farm, we require our expectations to be met. I can personally assure you that when you leave Zevenwacht for the first time, every single one of your expectations shall be met. So with all this being said, how's about we crack on with that evaluation? Now that I've evaluated the wine, I've got one thing to say. Wow-wee. For those who don't know, Chardonnay is a relatively tricky grape varietal to work with, and this is because it's very neutral in its flavor profile. Because of the grape's neutral tone, the wine opens itself up to many different winemaking practices. One of those practices would be malolactic conversion. Malolactic conversion is the conversion of malic acid into lactic acid. I know, gibberish, right? But let me break this down for you. Malic acid is the same kind of acid that you'd find in a Granny Smith apple. Makes your mouth dry, it's quite sharp in its tone. Where lactic acid is the same kind of acid that you'd find in milk. Therefore, malolactic conversion will bring about a softer, more inviting acidity in the wine. It will also bring about a rounder, more complex mouthfeel and an increase in flavor intensity. The other winemaking practice would be barrel maturation. Depending on how the barrel was toasted initially, the oaking process will also impart complexity on the palate as well as texture and length. Okay, so let's take a look at my notes. For the appearance of the wine, I gave the wine pale lemon. On the nose, I said that the wine carries a medium plus aroma intensity. I clearly picked out aromas such as mango, passion fruit, cooked pineapple, lemon zest, a little bit of butter, and then a hint of butterscotch. The wine showed off quite a bit of primary as well as secondary aromas. Therefore, making the wine come on, you've got it. Right on, a developing wine. On the palate, I said that the wine is dry, carries a medium plus acidity, has a medium alcohol, medium plus body, and has quite a pronounced flavor intensity. I'd say that the most important element when it comes to winemaking is the balance between the sugar and the acidity. If you can imagine those two, sugar and acidity, being on a scale, if the sugar is higher, the acidity is lower, and vice versa. If the acidity is higher, the sugar is lower, and you need to try and find that sweet middle spot, which is what Hagen does incredibly well with this wine. On the palate, I found lime, passion fruit, apricot, some white peach with some showings of toast as well as toasted coconut. This wine also carries a nice long finish. When it comes to the assessment of quality, we use what we call the Blick system. Blick standing for balance, length, intensity, and complexity. When it came to scoring the wine, I scored a point for balance, a point for length, a point for intensity, as well as a point for complexity. Therefore, giving the wine an overall quality assessment of outstanding. I am dead serious when I say that I could not fault this wine on anything, and that gives me 3 outstanding wines in a row. For the readiness of drinking, I said the wine can drink now, but has potential for further aging. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the conclusion of episode number 4. It's been an absolute pleasure to evaluate another wine for all of you. Please note that if you'd like to make a contribution towards this campaign, all you need to do is just follow the links which are found across all my social media platforms. I'd also like to remind all of you that there's no standard when it comes to your enjoyment for wine. And remember, be kind and drink good wine. That's tasty.